Thanks, Alex. I just want to make sure everyone understands that first Ocean in the core is a database of companies, and we're a platform where we allow users to find new customers. I'm going to present something related to ABM services because I think also we're discussing with Alex that fits perfectly to this HubSpot track. As we have also the possibility to create way more granular segments of our customers and allow our users as well to, in the second step, find new customers. So I'm going to maybe just like a quick overview on what we can do with Ocean. Things like market segmentation, lookalike audiences, targeted account list, lead assignment, and enriching CRM. That is something that can happen through the API. If you have questions regarding this, I'm glad to answer them also afterwards, but we won't focus on those that much. Yeah, a lot of text here. I'm just going to briefly explain what regarding the ABM, what we've done that is more developed than most of our competitors or other services that do similar things. What we've basically been doing is that how have we grouped our database? Well, we've scraped websites and registries in multiple countries so that we could actually start gathering information on how many companies you actually have in each country. From that point on, we started scraping social media such as Facebook, LinkedIn, well, Crunchbase, if you want to count this as a social media. We've started scraping and buying data from different parts to gather data for each company and have the most precise data possible of each company. We even have put the mechanism together to be able to rescrape that data on an ongoing basis. Right now, we're more or less doing it on every 3 months, more or less. Regarding the ABM, if you keep in mind that we have scraped the text of websites, that's where we have started categorizing companies depending on the text we've been able to analyze, or that our algorithm has been able to analyze. Keeping this in mind, it would mean, for example, that if our algorithm spots the word software, I don't know, 15, 16, 17 times on a website, it'll be able to categorize that company as a software company. And there's a multitude of words that can always give us indication of what that company is actually doing. So that's what we're explaining here. And I will show you as well after how we differentiate from LinkedIn categorization or the normal registry categorization. What other tools can be involved with Ocean? Well, right now we have integrations with HubSpot, Pipedrive, Salesforce, and SalesNav. SalesNav, why do we mention this? Because when you do a lookalike search on our platform, you can actually take the results and copy paste those results in the search filters of your SalesNav so that you start looking for the right people within the companies you found on Ocean. Here's a service segmentation. I put some hours in some price there. I'm not at all sure if that makes sense. I've tried to have some kind of ballpark there, but obviously all of these prices are a bit of a something I thought about, but might not be so set in stone. In general, for the segmentation is very easy. The connection from HubSpot to Ocean, takes about 5 minutes. Obviously, depending on what you need, it can take a bit more time. But it's basically in the user to himself do the mapping of which data points he'd like to export from Ocean to HubSpot and have the best data possible in HubSpot. And also, obviously, send all those companies you've been able to understand as a perfect target for you and send all of this data directly to your CRM. In the second service that you can also offer in this is obviously to do the segmentation. First of all, allows you just to know, okay, should I go for software companies or should I go for hardware companies, etc. But in the second step, you should as well as you could also offer, if you start being acquainted to Ocean, to be able to actually help your customer to develop a better customer base. So if you know that you should go for software companies, Ocean can, in a second step, help you to find new software companies you should go after. So there's these two steps, and in this sense, I've put the price range here because then a customer should get access to Ocean, and on top, you could provide different services and teach that company how to use and optimize their usage of Ocean. The most important at that point would be to understand a bit more the technological side of Ocean. I put 1 to 2 weeks, but I'm also sure it can be done in 3 to 3 days as well, depending on the schedules, of course. So yeah, that's also just as an example in this case. I've put $3,600 because that's our smallest package, and our second package is $7,200 that you can see, oh, euros actually, sorry. So which you can see here on this slide. So what can you expect from the service? Well, in general, what Ocean does, I think everyone can do at home by themselves. But what Ocean does is a precise way of doing segmentation based on data that we hope that is the most actualized possible. And we're trying to make sure of this. Obviously, as we will grow as a company, it will become easier and easier for us to pay and to rescrape the data from, excuse me, the data from the different websites. But right now, yes, we still need to stay on a 3-month basis. But yeah, what I meant to say is that you can also rely more on the data of your CRM because you know that it's an algorithm that has gather this data in the same way from each company. Other companies obviously use humans to gather data. There's a problem with this because everyone has different appreciation of which kind of companies this is and might have a different understanding. Our algorithm treats every company and every text the same way, so can categorize companies with a real logic behind it. The idea is that also that you can have a higher retention because you could help them do much more precise work and also guide them in how they can best use their CRM. This is also what I wanted to show you regarding the traditional and our context indexing of companies. As I said, we analyze the text and then of a website and then can categorize based on that text a company in a given industry. Why did we do this? Well, it's because all of those registries have really outdated ways of categorizing companies. As you can see here, SIG codes categorize Pipedrive here as computer program services. Well, obviously that's not wrong, but you can't really go broader. Maybe LinkedIn does better by calling it computer software, but it's still very broad. It doesn't give you enough granular information to understand what Pipedrive is actually doing. Other companies can be called computer software and they're doing something completely different. So this is where we've come up with this, this categorization of companies, which you can see here, where we have categorized Pipedrive in actually 7 different categories, giving you that additional granular understanding. And that gives you as well an understanding of how we can segment a whole CRM. So if you have 10,000 companies, we can theoretically put 7 tags on each of those 10,000 companies, given obviously that there are such granular companies. But in the end, our goal is really to give you that additional view on what that company is doing so that you can rely on tags and not just on very broad industry codes. In there you have also, whoop, I'm going to stop this because it's just a short demo if you want the presentations after. I was just showing how to use Ocean. It was actually also with Alex and some people that maybe you've seen that presentation. What I've shown here as well is the partnership tiers and benefits. I won't go in the details. I'll just show you the overarching here view. Depending on how we can collaborate with each other. We have a partnership program that is very new, so I'm obviously also very open to learn better ways to collaborate with companies and agencies, that especially HubSpot partners. So I'm obviously, that's just almost like a first or second iteration of our program. And you can see that we're trying to give a financial incentive as much as doing some co-marketing operations and letting our partners to guide us in how our product could best fit to the customers they're serving, so that we can really have a product that can benefit everyone. Some questions you might get a lot by using when we get to present Ocean. So there again, the question I get the most is regarding LinkedIn. Why are we different from LinkedIn? Well, that's why I showed you the slide on the different categorizations that we have made compared to LinkedIn. It's really that granularity that we have more compared to LinkedIn and other services. I think Crunchbase is maybe one that comes close to us, but Crunchbase also, as far as I know, they pay people to categorize companies within different categories, and it still is very broad. What we also have is how long does it take to connect the CRM? Well, as I said, 5 minutes, not more. It's really a piece of cake. How we try to make it as easy as possible. As I think we have a mainly US-based people here on the call, I've just made that question for you. We have around 1.5 million companies in the US. Why only 1.5? Well, because we have Crunchbase data. So all of the data we got we have a deal with Crunchbase, plus some other ones that we have scraped. But we haven't yet let our full service and scraper into the US market. We were waiting for an opportunity to do this, as we're right now still focusing more on Europe and UK. So yeah, that's just a thing that will arrive at one point. And yeah, but that's basically the presentation of our platform. I saw that there's many questions here in the. I'll maybe just stop sharing and see if there's some questions in the chat I can answer.
Yeah, GDPR was brought up, so let's do that one first.
Yeah, perfect. That's a very common question. I'm not a lawyer, so that's the first thing I want to say. So please don't take my words as the overarching truth. I'm telling you what we know. Regarding GDPR with Ocean, we only gather data from public spaces. So that we don't gather information. I cannot go find the email of somebody that has not made it public on its LinkedIn account, on the LinkedIn account, or on the website. So with this regard, we've really tried. We also really try to show you where we got that data. So for example, if we find a telephone number or an email, we try to tell you which source did we get it from. GDPR has also in Europe rules so it's an overarching rule, but you can't forget that every country has very specific marketing rules for themselves. So for instance, in Germany, there's a double opt-out, so I can't actually just send an email to anyone in Germany. I have to have their consent to receive the email, and that's very strict compared to Denmark, where it's a bit more relaxed. So I can reach out with somebody email, but there's still a way for that person to tell me, hey, look, I don't want your email, and then I need to delete their email from my database. So that's very depending on the countries. I have a sheet on this, so if somebody wants it after, I can ask our department in our lawyer department at Ocean. They have a sheet where each country explains a bit what their marketing rule is regarding single opt-out and double opt-out. So if you want this, I can share this with you. I will just let me know, and I'll gladly you'll gladly have this overview in Europe.
Yeah, and I'll lend a hand just to kind of paint a bigger picture for what the workflow looks like for some of our agencies that use Ocean and ourselves. First of all, just because you get the email doesn't mean you have to email them. For all of us account-based marketers, we use emails for retargeting. We use their URL in a number of ways. For clients, it's really important if you can set up a full automation by, say, adding lead feeder to the site. So you can tell the client, hey, we're going to start segmenting all of the traffic and who the actual accounts that are coming to pages that mention this keyword. We're going to put those directly in HubSpot through Leadfeeder's native HubSpot integration. Once in HubSpot, Ocean is going to turn on and automatically find lookalike data to those companies that visited that page. So if you have companies that are hyper-targeting a specific type of account, this is a really awesome workflow between your CRM, an IP analysis tool like Leadfeeder, and a data enrichment tool that finds lookalike data like Ocean. So that's what we are using it for internally. And that's what a couple of agencies that I know that use Ocean, that's the workflow that they use. It works really great. And again, you do not need to email them just because you get their email. You can do a whole host of different ABM strategies to get those people to convert. And Andreas, you are super active. I love it, man. This is really awesome. But for retargeting, you would need to upload it to Facebook, for example, which is problematic as well in terms of the law. Anything that you tell people on that as far as retargeting using the data, I know how we do it, and I believe we are within the legal limits of how we retarget, using LinkedIn mainly, but using the URLs and the domains and the actual name of the companies to do the retargeting campaigns. But if you have anything on that, otherwise, let's get to the offer. We have something for all the agencies that are involved using Ocean. If you'd like to get in and try it out yourself, it's a pretty cool UI. What does everyone get?
Yeah, so right now what I can offer is a week free access to Ocean. You could get 10, 15 exports just to test out the flow with HubSpot. I could also let you do a segmentation try. And this, during a week, it's for free. And then when it comes to the pricing, I mentioned 3,600 euro. For this setting, I've been allowed to give access to Ocean for a full year for 3,000 euro. And the second package being 6,000 euro instead of 7,200. So this is the offer I can bring to the table today. And I'll gladly give everyone a free week access to Ocean so that you can test out the flow with different tools as well, and gladly help you out to understand how Ocean can fit, as Alex, for example, said, with Leadfeeder or with other tools that works out.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to get Carol from Leadfeeder to jump in here over the next couple of sessions. But one thing that I just thought about, and please type your email into the chat there. We will email everybody the links and all that stuff. But in case anyone wants to reach out to Julian or your Calendly, Julian, that may be better. But while he's doing that, one of the things that a couple of our free access agencies are doing with this trial is to go back to their clients and say, hey, let's do a quick persona analysis, who you're targeting and who else looks like them. We've got access to this tool called Ocean for a week. We can go ahead and pull some data or just run the analysis. You can find out so much cool data just using a URL that your clients give you that they're actively pursuing, and how many other companies look a lot like that URL according to Ocean's algorithm. It's pretty cool. So we use it for agencies, we use it for SaaS, we use it for everything. And it's an awesome, awesome value add.